Welcome. Today we're going to be making granola. You can see my jar of granola is almost empty. I have a friend, a dear friend, Renee, who makes the best granola ever. I haven't gotten to her quality even though I'm using her recipe. So this was my second batch. It was edible, so because it's almost gone, but we're going to make some today. So I asked Renee for her recipe, and she uses this great recipe from a blog called Nakisa Davis's Olive Oil and Maple Granola Recipe. And I'll put the link down below so that you can go directly to the source. But Renee says that she used about half the oil, maple syrup, and sugar that it's called for. And she also adds a little bit more salt. It calls for a pinch of salt, and she's used a teaspoon. So the last time I made this recipe, it burnt on me. So I am going to turn the oven down a little bit and keep a better eye on it. So our ingredients call for 3 cups of oats, a cup of pumpkin seeds, a cup of sunflower seeds raw, a cup of coconut chips, which we don't have, 1 1/4 cups of pecans, whole or chopped. That's my dog. Somebody must have walked by. 3/4 cup of maple syrup, which we have some real maple syrup, so that should be good. 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil. That's a lot. I can see why she reduced it by half. 1/2 cup of light brown sugar, and a pinch of salt, which she increased. So all of these are the ingredients that are listed in the recipe. And I hope, since we're using somebody else's recipe, that you go to her blog and at least visit it so she gets the traffic. And I think she has some links on there. This is not Renee, but the Miss Davis's blog site. Okay, we have a recipe that's open on our tablet, and we have preheated the oven to 300 degrees, and we've assembled some ingredients. And we've had to make do a little bit, and maybe this is why mine never turns out as nicely as Renee's. Okay, so we're going to start with 3 cups old-fashioned rolled oats. These are not instant rolled oats. You have to get old-fashioned rolled oats. So we're going to do 3 cups. And this is not baking, it's really cooking, so if you don't get it exact, I wouldn't worry about it. And now we're going to add a cup of the pumpkin seeds and a cup of the sunflower seeds. So we don't have a full cup. Let's see what we do have. Oh my gosh, it's like 1/4 of a cup. So we're going to top that off with this raw trail mix. And which is mostly sunflower seeds. So maybe if I can get to the bottom where all the sunflower seeds are. You know, I really don't like toasting raisins. Okay, so that's 1 cup. It's not quite a 2nd cup. It's going to be a little deficient on the nuts unless we can make it up with pecans. Let's see. Because it's good to be heavy on pecans. Pecans are good for you. It tastes good. So there we go. Now it actually calls for 1.25 cups of pecans, either chopped or whole. Let's see what we've got in here. Could be a little bit shy. Okay, we used up all these little odds and ends. Now we're going to put in, we're not going to put in coconut chips. We're going to add our 3/4 cup of maple syrup. Now Renee says that she uses half of that much. What I'm going to do, because I've made it with half that much and it just didn't taste sweet enough to me. I'd rather have the flavor from the maple syrup than the brown sugar. But I am going to do 1/4 cup of brown sugar, which is half of what they recommend. And I am going to do, they recommend 3/4 cup of maple syrup. I'm going to do 1/2 cup. So it'll be a little sweeter than Renee's. And I'm holding off on those cherries until last. Okay. And then we're going to do 1/4 cup of olive oil, which is half. Which is half of what they recommend. I wish I had crunched up the brown sugar before I poured syrup all over it. I use a light olive oil because I cook with it every day. So. Alright, so we're going to give it a good stir. Stir everything up. Oh, we forgot our salt. Oh, and we're going to add these seeds too. So before we spend all this time stirring it up and then stirring it up again. I do not know how many of these flax seeds to add. I am just going to add a couple of handfuls, which is probably less than 1/4 cup. I'm going to also add these chai seeds. You know, it's my experience, chai doesn't really have much flavor, so I'm going to add probably 1/8 cup. And our salt. We've got in here, we've got a mixture of regular table salt and a little bit of coarse ground salt. So she did a 1/2 teaspoon. I'm going to do about that. I used to cook with no salt at all, and that was great for me. I'm very used to it, but when I'm cooked for other people and they're not used to eating no salt or low salt, what happens is it can bring out other flavors. It can make your savory dishes taste sweet. So I started throwing a little bit of salt, but much less than most people do. That was not a lot of salt for this. Nothing in these ingredients, these are all raw ingredients, none of them have salt added, including that trail mix. Oh, this is a beautiful, beautiful mix. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And I'm not going to put the cherries in till the end. Let's scroll up here and see what she says. We've preheated the oven, so let's says, mix until well combined and then spread in an even layer on a rimmed baking sheet and transfer to the oven to bake 10 to 15 minutes until the granola is toasted. Oh, stirring every 10 to 15 minutes until the granola is toasted, which is about 45 minutes. So we have, I want everything nice and coated. Because that, I think, is one of the secrets to getting the flavor. This, you got the oil, the sugar, and the maple syrup. We've got our baking sheet. This is my baking sheet that I reserved for not cookies. So I have baking sheets that are for cookies and they don't have this brown stuff on the edge. They're always nice and shiny because I don't cook anything in them but cookies. But these are my other baking cookies, other baking sheets. Okay. Get all those chives have landed up in the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. See? Not all of them. Some of them. Try to get it all. Okay, let's spread that out. It looks yummy. I don't burn it again this time. I think it's going to be good. We can spread it out all nice and even. Where you can see everything. I'm going to stick it in the oven and set timers for 15 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes. I think the first couple of times I'm going to do 15 minutes and then 10 minutes on stir so I can make sure that it does not get too brown. So, and since my oven burned it last time, I don't have it on 300. I have it a little under 300, probably like 280. All right, here we go. Hey Google, set a timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
All right, we'll be back in 15 minutes. Wish me luck.
So I was just gonna brush my teeth and trim up my beard. And I guess I was like in La La Land or Autopilot. Because next thing I know, I've shaved
You shaved your beard off.
I shaved it all the way down to like just one big stripe.
Oh no, so you were committed then.
And I don't mind shaving it off because mainly I have it because out of laziness. So I don't have to shave every day.
Well, it's a little warm for a beard yet, isn't it?
No, not real. Not if you keep it that short. But the true agony came in because all I had were two very dull razors in there, and scraping the rest of it off was quite painful.
Well, I would have let you borrow my Venus. It has like 5 blades and 2 moisture strips.
Wants to go?
No, I've got stuff in the oven.
What you got out?
Granola.
Oh, it's good like samples at Costco?
No, but I've forgotten to eat breakfast and now it is lunch. I'm gonna have to stop and do something.
Well, we'll probably have plenty of snackages at Costco. Maybe I'll make 2 loops just to get my money's.
Well, you can make 3 loops and the third one could be for me.
Put them in my pocket.
No, just eat them for me.
All right.
All right. Catch you later.
I'll be back.
What's the matter, Angus? What's the matter, boy? Come hang out in the kitchen with Mama. Come on. Come on. Not you, Angus. Angus crying? Why is Angus crying? Can you go ask him and say, Angus, what's the matter, buddy? Come on, Angus. Come on, Angus. Come on, come hang out with the mom in the kitchen. Come on. Come on. Come on, Angus. Come on, Angus. There's my timer. There we go. Oh, wish you could smell it. It smells nice. It smells really nice. Toasty. I cannot smell the maple that much. Oh, look at this. You know, the problem with pecans is they get dark really fast. So we'll be stirring every 10 minutes so those pecans do not burn. Because I've got some others in here. Don't look brown at all. That one must have been at the bottom. You know, maybe in the future, what I might do, because here's another one that's got kind of crunchy. I might do, put the pecans in towards the last 15 minutes. I'm not going to sit here and pick them all out. All right, Google. Hey, Google. Set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Starting now.
That hand doesn't fit. All right, 10 more minutes. I love cleaning my kitchen as you go. I mean, you got to be in here anyway, waiting for your whatever you're cooking to cook, whether it's a meal or you're baking. But it's so nice to have everything done at the same time that you're finished baking, and you know you just have one pan left, and it sure makes the cleanup afterwards go much easier. Got a jar out. This is a brand new jar. It's sitting in the bottom of the cupboard, collecting dust, so definitely had to wash it. I don't have to sterilize it because we're not really canning. If that granola was going to stick around a long time, like a year or two, I might worry about sterilizing it, but I'm not. As long as it's nice and clean, it should be fine. And I'm gonna just put right on top of this jar to make our life easier. I'm gonna get out the phone. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves because granola's not even done yet, but get things ready because this funnel's been up in the cupboard forever. It might not be that clean, so we're going to wash it. In the meantime, got to get Angus outside. Hey buddy, you want to go out? There you go. You want to go out too, Shadow? Come on. Alright. Light up. Oh, there's our timer. This smells amazing. Oh my gosh. So now we've been in the oven for a total of 25 minutes. We're supposed to bake for 45. These pecans are getting really toasty. We don't want them to get too much toastier. But I would like my oats to get nice and toasted. It is granola. I've got another whole bag of pecans in there, but I'm saving them for my next recipe for you guys, which is banana nut bread. And while this has been toasting in the oven, I've been looking up a recipe for banana nut bread in an old cookbook. It's a 50s or 60s cookbook. I'm going to compare it to the recipe I always use. And I'll be making that. So be sure and subscribe if you want to see that recipe. I might pull out, while we're waiting on this, all my cookbooks that have banana nut bread in it, and pick a recipe. There's one called banana bread Kona, which I'd never heard that before, so I'm going to research that a little bit. You put it in a cake pan, but it's called banana nut bread Kona. So Kona sounds Hawaiian, but it just looks more like a cake recipe than a bread recipe. Okay, this is going back in for 10 more minutes. Hey Google, set a timer for 10 minutes. Alright, see you back in 10. Well, my alarm just went off. So we had 15 minutes, and 10 is 25, and 10 is 35. So we've got 10 more minutes, unless we think it's done. Ooh. While we were away, I was going in my older cookbook, the Betty Crocker from 1950, and I found an interesting recipe called banana whip, and it's the mailman must be coming. I hear Angus in there. He's back inside, by the way. Hey Angus, it's enough, buddy. So there's a recipe called banana whip, and it's a topping for angel food cake or sponge cake. So I don't know. I don't eat a lot of cake anymore, thanks to my muffin top. I'm not sure what else I would put it on. An angel food cake's not real fat. I'm not sure I want to make an angel food cake just to try that top. It might be, oh, I know, it might be good on some fresh strawberries. I might have to try that later. Not making any promises. Okay, this is smelling good. I don't know if we want it for another 10 minutes. Let's see. Yeah. Pecans don't look like they're burning. They're toasting up good. Let's put it in for the extra 10 minutes. And we'll be done with it. We'll let it cool down. Oh, we gotta mix the cherries in. I'm trying to decide whether I want to mix the cherries in now. Those raisins taste good in there. We'll do the cherries now. How many? We were supposed to have a cup of coconut chips. I think that would be excessive with the cherries. We'll do this. What do y'all think? Think I should chop those up? They're kind of big. Kind of big for granola. think they would hold the moisture better if they're not chocolate. Okay, so I'm just going to do a sprinkling. Oh, and the reason we like dried cherries, and I try to keep some on hand, is if you start to have a gout attack, eating dried cherries can help. And that's not a wise tale. It's from a study, a scientific study that nobody has followed up on. So they found that cherries could reduce, if you ate cherries on a regular basis, and they didn't do dried cherries, they did real raw cherries. If you ate cherries on a regular basis, it reduced your chances of having a gout attack. They never followed it up. So they never did any follow-up research, but which is a shame. But if you're a pharmaceutical company, why would you research cherries when people can go pick them up off the shelf? Wouldn't that be nice? So I try to keep cherries in my diet as much as feasible. Fresh cherries are only available certain times of the year, so I try to keep some dried cherries on hand and put them in things like this, like granola. And I also will eat them like a snack. If there's some warning signs coming on when I'm about to get some gout, and I'll just take out the bag and start eating them and hope for the best. Luckily, I've only had one severe gout attack in my life. I hope to never, ever, ever have another one. So I try to stick to my preventative diet as much as I can, which is sad because I really love meat. All right, let's go back in the oven for 10 more minutes. Oh, our timer's gone off. Excuse me, Shadow. Oh, you can really smell the cherries in here. Oh, that smells so yummy. So this is it. This is our 45 minutes, and they didn't burn. Yay! So happy. Oh, it smells amazing. I cannot wait to try these. I'm going to have some tomorrow on my yogurt. We're done. Sometimes I just eat it in a bowl with some low-fat milk. Really, I like it for topping on my yogurt. After I make my oatmeal, I'll sprinkle some on the top so that it has crunch. I don't like soggy oatmeal. If you could put a little bit of sprinkle on ice cream. So you should try making your own granola, because you can put in it what you want. You can reduce the sugar if you want. You can use all natural ingredients if you're into that. You could use, if you're worried about sugar, you could use refined sugar. You could use honey or agave syrup. If you're vegan, you could, I guess this is pretty vegan. Because we used olive oil, there's no animal fat in here. I'm trying to think. I think it's all good. So, we're going to cool this off and put it in the jars. It smells good. You can really smell those cherries in there. Anyway, when it cools off, we'll jar it up and finish up. Oh, yeah. All right, we let the granola cool down. We got them in our jars. We got 2 jars full, 2 big jars full out of that recipe. I tell you, it tastes really good. I finally nailed it. I'm so happy. Smells good. The pecans are not overcooked. I can't wait to have this on my yogurt for breakfast in the morning. Okay, you notice something different? I pulled out this 1950s apron. Let me back up so you can see more of it. Anyway, it crisscrosses in the back because in the next video we're making a recipe from my 1950s Betty Crocker picture book cookbook. And I know that's backward because I have my phone faced that way, but maybe I'll flip it in post. Anyway, if you want to see me cook out of this cookbook next go around, be sure and subscribe and press that bell so that you get notifications and you'll find out exactly when that video's up. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and what's that I was going to say? And find lots of ways to add a little seasoning to your life and fill up your senses. Yumminess.